welcome back to Journey Within Reiki, where we reflect, heal, and then embody authentic versions of ourselves in each session. My name is Mark, and today we're going to be walking the path of peace. This is the third and final video of our Peace series. In today's reflection, we are going to go back to the beginning to remember how this all started with that icky feeling, that little piece of nervousness or anxiety that was in our body that grew into a problem that the nervous system felt was unsafe, and how the mind came in to provide protection for that unsafe feeling by scanning through our past, our future, identifying any potential threats or problems, and then narrating a solution of protective patterns and behaviors that we've engaged in before to allow us that protection that it feels our body needs. We looked at how this relationship between the nervous system and the mind can get into a triggering war where we are essentially stuck in a loop of fear, one feeding the other, creating an entire storm that we get lost in. We understand that inside this storm, the pathways out begin to dim down until all we can see is that familiar path of protection that we've been down so many times before. And it's not until we are able to identify that we are in this storm, that we pull our energy away from that thinking mind and everything that it's telling us, move back into our body to calm the nervous system, and how that takes us out of the storm and puts us in an open field where there is some sunlight. In turn, this changes the narration of the mind, so that we become expansive, creative, and free and peaceful again. But we don't always want to have to do this, be catching ourselves in this storm 20, 30 times a day, going back to the healing modalities, breathing, meditating, getting rid of that feeling, coming back to center. In the beginning, we'll have to do this a lot as we develop new pathways of behavior. But if we can, we'd like to avoid the occurrence of these icky feelings altogether. So let's go back to the beginning of our day, see if we can uncover how some of this energy is being placed into our body or our field before it becomes a problem for us. We're going to start this reflection by categorizing all of our feelings and emotions into one of two places. Anything that is unpleasant, anger, envy, jealousy, anxiety, is going to go into the category of fear. Everything else that feels expansive, inspiring, loving, compassion, forgiveness is going into the category of love. We are going to consider these two energies, opposing energies, to make things simple as we reflect on our day. We're going to first look at how we wake up in the morning, because during those first 30 minutes, we often experience a peak of cortisol as our body wakes up and begins to take on the new day. What we do at this time is very important for the rest of our day and the energy that we're going to experience consciously or subconsciously throughout it. If we wake up and we go straight to our phone, looking at all of the tasks, identifying the problems of yesterday, looking at the fearful news, etc., well, we can imagine what sort of energy we are programming into our body, into our energetic field. This might show up later as that icky feeling, except we won't know that it has come from this moment of phone use in the morning. It will just feel like an unpleasantness. The mind will go all over heaven and earth to find it and will come back with all sorts of problems that we really don't have to explain this feeling. Now consider for a moment that we wake up, and during that peak of cortisol, We are in a calming, healing exercise. We've woken up and we've drank some water and gone for a nice peaceful walk in nature. We've started to move that energy through us and instilled our energy field and body with a sense of peace, listening to the birds, seeing the scenes move by as we make our way forward. We can start inside if we don't have the option to go out into that sunlight, in meditation, in stillness. We could read a book. Anything but programming that fear into our field will be helpful in a behavior change for our mornings. So we can sift through our day in this reflection, see what sort of energies we are taking on, understand that these are affecting us. They are not insignificant. And when we reflect, we can identify whether the majority of our time is being spent in that fearful energy or whether it is being spent in a more loving energy. These are the two emotions we're going to reflect on. And again, we are not doing anything, fixing anything. We are not worrying about the patterns that we find that we've been engaged in, or worried about the things that we have not been doing that we now feel we should. This is simply reflection. The job is simply to notice. If you can do that, then you have done everything that you need to. Do it with kindness and compassion for yourself, and we'll see you back here when it's time to heal. After that reflection, we might have a better idea of how much time, energy, and focus we are putting toward environments of fear and exposing ourselves to that energy versus placing ourselves and our attention in the environment of love. Now that we have that reflection, we can move toward how we are going to heal this. We want to heal this within ourselves so that we can stop experiencing those unconscious moments of being alerted to the fact that we have lost our consciousness and find ourselves in the middle of a fear loop and storm between the nervous system and the mind. So we're going to do some proactive healing right now. We're going to take a look at where these stuck blockages of energy might be coming from. It's helpful if you have not gone back into the past to deal with some of those traumatic moments during your early life, to maybe go to some of the Freedom series videos and do some of that soul retrieval or work with the inner child. Often, some of these old wounds are what is resurfacing within us in the present moment, blocking the movement of energy and creating that unpleasant feeling. Often in life, with the nature of living in this world at this time on earth, we are moving past these difficult moments without processing a lot of the feelings that we have, without doing the healing at that time. We move on, move past it, bury it down, but it doesn't go away. It sits there until the next recurring moment, a similar situation arrives, and that energy tries to move again. We try to express ourselves again as we did before, except we can't. It's blocked. It feels unpleasant. We feel fearful. The whole loop starts. So we can go back through our lives into these moments and process some of that emotion now. Go back and speak with the inner child in terms of safety and security and compassion. We can gently move through our lives to see if there is anything that has limited our expression because of a hurtful situation. We can look to offer ourselves love to these moments in the past as a means of freeing that energy and allowing ourselves to choose and express differently next time. That's one way of healing. Another way is simply to begin the healing without any reason or necessity to. do this by starting with those exercises that instill peace and a calm nervous system, that bring light into the body, that clear energy out of the body, that offer us energetic protection. These are healing exercises that we can engage in as part of a daily practice that helps to clear out energy as we take it on throughout our day and protect us from taking on any new energy that we don't want. This is why people engage in these practices daily, because they feel the benefit of it. We no longer have to continuously catch ourselves within that storm and make all of that effort to move back into the sunlight, back to center, because on a regular basis we are managing our energy. We've gone back and done some deep healing of those old wounds, and now as we move forward in life, we are taking the time to process things as we experience them. Having a daily practice of breath work, exercise, yoga, meditation, whatever it is for you, allows you to do this on a regular basis without having to think, to fight, to force, to put all that effort in. So when we're healing, we're thinking about offering love toward ourselves, not criticizing what has happened, what we've been doing, but looking at the way we can offer ourselves feelings of love, compassion, safety, and security. This is the energy we want to pull out of ourselves and offer to ourselves in our environment. This will protect us as we move forward in life. So good luck with this healing. Again, as always, be kind and compassionate, and we'll see you back here when it's time to embody this new version of self and make different choices for our life. Embodiment is about using our free will to make choices. In this case, since we are trying to change ourselves, improve our life, we're going to be looking to make different choices in some of those recurring situations that keep entering our lives, so that we can stop that cycle or that loop from happening, particularly if it's unpleasant. So we've done our reflection. We've noticed when we are engaged and focused on energies that are fearful versus loving. We've understood now that healing means going back and applying love towards those moments in time when there was fear present, and how we can do this retroactively to heal some of those old wounds that keep surfacing. We've also learned how to heal as a regular practice throughout our day, so that we are clearing energy and protecting ourselves from taking on any more fear. So in embodiment, we can look at two situations within our lives. First is simply the little choices that we make each and every day. What we do when we wake up in the morning. Do we spend it in peace, clearing our energy, setting up some protection? Or do we go straight to the phone and start plugging in all those fearful energies before we even get a chance to wake up? Those are the little choices that we can make throughout our day to help ourselves out. Then there are some bigger choices to make. If there are situations and occurrences that are recurring in your life that are uncomfortable for you, this is simply a sign that a new choice is required in order to break the pattern and move to the freedom and peace that is beyond it. It likely has to do with the way that you are expressing yourself within these moments. Usually if there is fear within our energetic field or stuck energy within the body, it is blocking a particular expression, an authentic expression of ourselves, who we truly are, what we truly believe, probably a more loving expression toward ourself that is being blocked. We have to find the courage the next time this moment arrives in our life to make a different choice, to love ourselves through it, to pull our attention away from the reaction of others, from the results that might occur, to focusing on that feeling of freedom and expansion within the body as we make that different choice, as we show up for ourselves. These are the big moments when we can get the real big wins in embodiment by expressing that aspect of yourself again in this situation where it was too fearful to before. You walk past that barrier of fear and you get to the other side. This moves the energy, clears that pathway, and sets you free. That situation stops cycling within your life. You have learned the lesson at the soul level, and you are free from it now. So move through slowly and carefully. Take that time during your day to engage in some reflection, healing, and embodiment. The recurrence of this practice in time is what allows us to change, to become that new authentic version of ourselves. So use your expression of free will. Make some different choices for yourself. Your intuition knows what they are. Find the courage, take a leap of faith, and meet that version of yourself on the other side. Thank you very much for being back here with me again today at Journey Within Reiki. You are very loved and appreciated here. I hope you have enjoyed this peace series. There's plenty of free material in the description box if you wish to continue your journey, and I hope to see you back here again. Remember, you have the power to heal yourself, and you are safe, and you are loved.